Okay, I think we are now live. Hello everyone, it is Kat from Scratch Magazine. I'm jumping in today's Live from the Living Room slot to tell you all about Salon System's Nourish Your Mind campaign. Now, this is a fantastic campaign that's been running since the beginning of the month, so the 1st of Feb, and it has been running throughout the whole of this month. And across Instagram on social media via Salon System's Instagram page. A whole variety of sessions have been taking place with different experts on a big variety of topics. It's a fantastic campaign that aims to sort of promote and support nail and beauty professionals through lockdown. But don't take my word for it, because today I'm going to be joined by Lisa Stone, who is a Salon System expert. She's going to be telling us all about the campaign, what to expect from it, what they've been up to already, and what's going to be coming up. And Lisa's also going to be talking to us about how to promote mindfulness and well-being in lockdown, which is something that I'm pretty sure we all could do with a bit of help with at the moment. So I'm going to try and bring in Lisa now. So if you just bear with me one moment. As ever, this video will be available later today. It will be on our website and saved to our IGTV. So if there's anything you missed, just you can click over there and watch it back. If you have any questions or comments, please just leave them below and we'll try and get to them as and when throughout the live, but if not, at the end. And I think we've got Lisa now. Hi.
Hiya,
Hello.
Kat. How are you doing?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Gosh, it's been a
Very,
long while since I've seen you last. It's
it
crazy. Where has
certainly
this year
has.
gone?
I know, it's whizzing by already. How are you doing?
Really well, not too bad, not too bad at all. But I was just sort of saying to all of our viewers a bit about the campaign, and so I was wondering if perhaps you could kick off by telling us a little bit more about it and why it was launched.
Absolutely. So the Nourish Your Mind campaign was brought about really by wanting to stay connected to our customers. So Salon System are extremely passionate about our industry and everybody in it. And I think when we hit this third lockdown, it was quite clear to everybody, the team at Salon System, that everybody was struggling with this
Yeah,
one. I mean, we've struggled throughout all of them, but I
yeah,
think this third lockdown has hit nail techs and beauty therapists and hairdressers, everybody in our industry alike, really, really hard. And I think
yeah,
everybody seemed to be struggling that little bit more this time. And it became very apparent that everybody was suffering with things like rumination, um, more stress, more anxiety, and just pressing that little replay button in your mind of worries, of stress, of the future, the uncertainty. So it quickly became clear that we kind of wanted to do something to support people in this kind of third lockdown with their mind. And that's how the Nourishing Your Mind campaign got started, embracing things like mindfulness movement, um, education, so things that can keep our mind busy, but also kind of focusing on positive situations like charities and how we can help each other, and just really just bring about a sense of community within our industry, which I think really at the moment has been a lifeline to all of us. Just that
yeah.
kind of feeling that there is people out there, there are people that we can talk to, and you know, we are, although we're all in very different boats, we are all in the same storm. And I hear that saying being kind of said an awful
Oh,
lot, but it's so
it's
true.
so, it's so
Yes,
true.
yeah.
And
So
now more
yeah,
than
that's
ever, I think we need
yeah,
that community, don't we?
we so do, like never before. And hopefully, I think that'll stay with us now. I think we'll always kind of have that sense of community. So that's kind of how the campaign kind of came about. And I thought I think it's a brilliant idea, absolutely brilliant.
Definitely. And so what has been going on? What have you guys been up to with it and what's coming up?
So we're well into the campaign because it did start at the beginning of February. So all the interviews that we've done so far can be rewatched. So you can head over to Salon System and rewatch everything we've done. So this week we've got on Wednesday at 7 p.m. we've got an interview with an amazing lady. I'm so excited about this one, Dr. Natasha Baldio. I think I pronounced that right. She's absolutely phenomenal and does a lot of well-being, a lot of yoga, and she's got lots and lots of tips to kind of help people with staying motivated. I think that's one of the things a lot of us have found hard in this third lockdown, is kind of like, oh, here we go again, you know, what's the point? And I think motivation has been incredibly hard. So we're going to be picking her brains actually on Wednesday about how we can try and stay motivated and keep ourselves upbeat. So I'm really looking forward to speaking to her. So that's Wednesday. We've also got another Pilates breathe and stretch session with the lovely Jackie Gurr. She's been delivering sessions, I think, twice a week. And again, they're on replay. And we've got another one coming up on the 22nd at 9 a.m. Where she's just been going through some beautiful movements, Pilates, stretching, breathing, which are really good for mindful movement. So if we can focus on moving our bodies, keeping our minds focused through movement, that's been really useful. And like I say, if you're not around at 9 a.m. to watch it, you can go back and do it at your leisure. But she's incredibly calming. So that's been wonderful to be able to do that and start your day with that. And then last week I had a lovely chat with my wonderful colleague Angie Mazzi, and we were discussing the benefits and the pros of online learning. So I think we've been thrown into this whole kind of digital world now. A lot of training courses have had to stop. And that doesn't mean to say that our education needs to stop. And I think that's really important. We've all had so much time on our hands. And again, we can spend it ruminating, overthinking, worrying and stressing. So why not use that time to actually use your brain and engage in upskilling and maybe creating something new and exciting, so that when we do open, you've got, you know, something new to add to your repertoire of treatments, especially nail techs who maybe want to add brow treatments or some lash work. There's lots of online courses. I'm a trainer for Training Solutions in Beauty, and you know, we've been able to kind of really kind of focus our education now online and give the same quality that we would as if we were in the classroom. So we did a whole session on that. There's lots of useful information and tips which you can go back and watch, and it's so important to have something to focus on. So education is definitely something that's been part of this campaign. And we also had a wonderful interview, which I would urge anybody to go back and watch if they've not heard of this charity, the Hair and Beauty charity.
Of course.
So we had an amazing interview with the fabulous Sam Grocott, who came along and talked us through the amazing work that the charity's been doing, what they're planning on doing in the future. And I just think it's really important to go back and have a listen, spread the word, because maybe some of your viewers know somebody, or maybe themselves need a little bit of help right now. And I think focusing on something good and something positive and something giving is a great way of kind of boosting our mood and making us all feel a little bit better. So we've had lots of guest speakers, which can all be rewatched. And obviously we've got a couple more coming up this week as well. So we're well into the campaign.
Amazing. And it sounds like it's really kind of ticking all those boxes across the different sort of areas that our industry have to offer.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. It's kind of really enveloping and weaving in mindfulness into every kind of part of our industry and life, really.
And I think that's so important right now. But I was wondering if perhaps we could then, speaking of mindfulness, perhaps look at some practical tips that viewers can perhaps implement sort of right now, and sort of look at how they can be looking after themselves in lockdown.
Absolutely. So the great thing about mindfulness is it isn't actually that hard to do. You know, you can go online. There is so much information on mindfulness at the moment online. There's so many great, amazing books. There's so many courses now becoming available than what there was, you know, this time last year. So I would actually urge anyone to go along and do it, because you can use it for yourself, but you can also bring it into your industry, into your clients. I feel really passionate about that, actually, that we can really bring it into our hair, nail and beauty industry. Weave it into your everyday life. Just having a shower on a morning, you can do mindfully. So rather than standing in the shower feeling worried about the future, worried about your day, just focus on being in the shower at that moment. I know it sounds really crazy, but just really feeling every drop on your body, the lava of the soap, the smell of the soap and the shampoo. So mindful showers, mindful walks are brilliant at the moment. So how often do we go out with all our worries and stresses in our mind, and you're missing all the beautiful things around you? So a
Mm.
mindful walk is something that you can go out and do now after listening to this. Put your shoes on, wrap up warm. You know, I went out for a walk this morning with my dog, and I had to stop and take pictures because all the snowdrops are starting to pop up, all the
Oh,
little flowers are starting to pop up, and it's noticing those little things. And while you're focusing on those,
hmm.
while you're focusing on those things, you're not focusing on the worry of the future or the stresses of the past. You're kind of in that particular moment. You could, you know, eat mindfully. That's a really good skill to have. So you're not just shoveling everything in your mouth. You're actually stopping to look at your food, smell the food, taste the food. And again, while you're doing that, you're not then kind of focusing or worrying on other things. So there's so much that you can actually do to kind of be mindful now. Getting yourself into a flow state is really, really good. We've all got things that we love to do. So to help with rumination, and like I don't know if I explained, but rumination is where you overthink and you replay
Hmm.
negative thoughts
Right.
over and over and over again in your mind. One way of helping to prevent that is to get yourself into a flow state. And a flow state
Hmm.
is where you're focusing on something you love doing. So it could be yoga. It could be Pilates. It could be listening to your favorite music. It could be painting, writing, reading, even just sitting down watching a movie. So all of those things that are so accessible to us, it's not
Mm.
rocket science. What we need to do is to get into the habit of doing it daily. And if you do these little practices daily, they'll soon become a habit, and that will then soon become a lifestyle change. And if we could all do that, honestly, we'll all start to feel better. I've been practicing mindfulness now for well over a year, and it does take practice, and you are going to have your days where you have a meltdown. You are going to have those bad days, but I think it's allowing yourself to be in that moment and say, you know, today I feel rubbish. I'm not actually going to get dressed today. I'm just going to sit down and eat popcorn and watch a movie, and that is fine, as long as we kind of pick ourselves up and we don't stay in that kind of way of thinking for too long.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like acknowledging it to then be able to move sort of past it, would you say?
Absolutely, and not judging it. I think the biggest
Hmm.
thing that we do, and what causes anxiety as well, is we judge how we feel about situations. And I think it's really, really important to kind of not judge yourself and step back from the
Yeah.
situation, because when you judge, you then kind of see things. Our mind is very good at telling stories and
Hmm.
lying to us, and then we overthink, and then it plays round and round, and it snowballs and snowballs. So that flow state is really important to kind of getting out of that vicious circle, if that makes sense.
Very much so, and I suppose the industry is just so full of such creative people that although right now the outlet perhaps can't be a really beautiful set of nails for a client, it can't be a really stunning brow transformation, but it's perhaps about channeling that creativity just elsewhere for the time being.
100%. You know, obviously, if you're into doing nail art, you know, do some amazing pictures, work on some new designs. um, you know, stay connected to your customers, go online and do some lives and show them what they've got to look forward to. It is hard, and you know, you are going to have bad
Yeah.
days, and that's absolutely fine, but it's just about trying to pick yourself up, I think, definitely.
Very much so. So although unfortunately we don't have a date right now for reopening, there's nothing definite out there. Um, are there any steps that nail and beauty professionals can be kind of making now to sort of prepare themselves for the rush of reopening and sort of look after that mindfulness that they have nurtured in lockdown?
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is to be ready for when we are
Hmm.
open, because if anything, if the past is to go by, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, you can open tomorrow. Just like, yeah, we're going to close you down tomorrow. So be ready, make sure you're stocked up. So make sure
Hmm.
you've got all your products ready to stock. You can order online, get them delivered. Make sure you've got all your PPE all ready to go and stocked up. Um, Stay connected with your customers, you know, even if it's a quick online video. If you're not too kind of confident with that, just send out an email to all your customers to say, you know, we are preparing to open up. Have that waiting list ready for clients that maybe are going to cancel and you want to fill all those spaces. So just be prepared. But also, I think once you do kind of open again, I think you do really need to look after yourself. When we're in our industry, in the beauty, in the nail industry, and in the hair industry, we almost become counselors, and we are going to have people sat in front of us. We're going to be doing their nails, they're going to be sharing all their stories, all their traumas, all their
Yeah,
negative tales, which is, you know, it's very sad, but we're going to be experiencing all of that day after day, time after
yeah,
time. So it's really important to protect yourself so that you're not picking
yeah.
up on everybody's negative energy. So make sure that you're booking out breaks. That's really, really important. You need to stop. You need to have half an hour away from the nail bar. You need to have half an hour away from that beauty room to go out and have a mindful walk, take a breath, and then go back and try not to take on everybody's negative energy.
Mm.
You know, we want to be there for our customers. We want to be there to listen to them and
Cool.
lend an ear, but you've got to protect yourself as well, because, you know, you may have been experienced you know, you may have had loved ones that have been poorly all the way through, or,
Yeah.
you know, it's you've got to try and detach yourself from that a little bit, if that makes sense.
Very
And
much.
I think as well, if I was a manager and I had staff working for me, I think it's important to make sure you ask your staff regularly how they're feeling. Make sure you're not putting too much pressure on them straight away. And have daily huddles. So replace the daily team meeting for a daily meditation or a daily huddle, and just check that they're okay. Because obviously this has impacted us all in so many different ways, and we're all
Yes.
struggling in our own little way.
Very much so. I think that's a really lovely way of saying it, but it is. I think it's about connecting, isn't it?
It really is staying connected and keeping that connection
Mm.
once we're all back open as well.
Amazing. So, for anyone watching right now, what would be your top tip? So they've finished watching our video, they've got a new lease of life, and they want to get a bit more mindful in themselves. What would be your top tip for them right now?
I would say make it a goal to every day, if it's possible, go out and have a mindful walk. There are so
Hmm.
many beautiful things out there, especially
Yeah.
now, spring's starting to come. A mindful walk every day is a really good way of starting. Download a mindfulness app, get yourself on a mindfulness course. And the more of us that can be mindful, I think the happier the world will be.
Oh, I completely agree. I think that's such a great way of putting it.
I mean, it's
Um,
not perfect. You're all going to have your bad days. That, you know, I'm not saying that life is perfect. I've had bad days too, but I think it's
mm,
important just to kind of look for the good in the bad.
yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I really do. So I don't think we've had any sort of questions come in, but am I right in thinking you've got another session scheduled in the next day or so? Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Wednesday at 7 p.m. And that's with Dr. Natasha Boldio,
Yep.
where we are going to be discussing, right on point, actually, what we've been talking about today,
Hmm.
how to stay motivated and how to
Hmm.
keep your mind busy and uplifted. And I'm sure she's going to have some amazing tips to share with us. So that will be a really good one to tune
Yeah.
into.
Amazing. So all of these are available on the Salon System Instagram account, which is at Salon System, all one word. And as you said, all of them are able to go back and view them all and rewatch them all. And like you said, do it all at your own leisure. But apart from that, was there anything else you wanted to add to the end of this?
No, I think we've covered it all, really. I think we've covered all kind of what the campaign stands
Hmm.
for. And just to know that, you know, we are thinking of everybody, and we can't
Yeah.
wait to get back out there, and wholesalers open, salons open, nail bars
Yeah.
open again, and just really just stay safe. And that, you know, we love you all, and we can't wait to see you all again.
Yeah. And the same with Scratch. We can't wait to see everyone back at work and doing what they all do
I
best.
don't think we will ever moan about going to work again, will we? That's for sure.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much for
It's been a
joining.
pleasure.
And thank you to Salon System for hosting such an amazing initiative right now. I think it's really, really needed. But apart from that, thank you so much again for joining me. This video will be available to rewatch on the Scratch website, and it'll also be saved on our IGTV. But apart from that, thank you so much, Lisa, for joining me, and hope
No
to see you
problem. Thank you,
soon.
Kat. Yeah, you take
No
care.
worries.
Stay well, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.